Hi, my name's Paul Grogan, and in this video, Mark from Ninja Geek Games is going to be giving you an overview of the North American expansion for Mycelia. The crowdfunding campaign for this goes live on August 13th, 2025, and you can find a link to it in the description of this video.
Hello and welcome, I'm Mark from Ninja Geek Games, and in this video I'll be providing you with an overview video of the expansion to Mycelia from Splitstone Games. The North American expansion brings new game mechanics to elevate strategic depth and adds a fifth player amongst other elements, and it hits Kickstarter sometime in August, and there'll be a link to the campaign in the description. Now, the first thing you'll notice is it's a small box, not much room for content there. I'm sorry, I like puns. It's because I'm a fun guy. Now, some viewers watching this video may be hardcore fans of the base game and are therefore eagerly awaiting the expansion. However, there are likely some that have never played Mycelia, so any content covering the expansion will seem pointless. Therefore, in this video, I'm going to provide a quick overview of the base game, covering game mechanics and actions, and we'll then delve into the North American expansion a bit later on, and you can find that in the timestamp. Let's take a look. Mycelia is a 1 to 4 player game involving tile placement, some aspects of majority control and open drafting. During play, actions allow the main board to expand. Tiles are taken from face down stacks, where the board then grows in any direction, providing different map layouts with each game. From these tiles, players can then choose to spend any of their resources or spores to fruit a mushroom. This requires matching the cost of a mushroom card in hand with your resources from specific coloured tiles in play. The claim card is then placed on one of your player mats, allowing the mushroom to move to the board. The more you fruit, the more mushroom tokens you'll have placed on the board, providing greater opportunities for them to spore and disperse more of your resources to be spent again later. Each different mushroom disperses a number of spores, and the direction of placement is represented thematically by a wind die, so you're never truly in control of where they land. This means that other players could claim and spend your spores if their mushroom tokens or mother mushroom control the tile where they land. It's risky business. The mother mushroom can move around from tile to tile, either to collect insect tokens that can be spent to move pieces belonging to other players or refresh cards in the market. But your mother mushroom tokens can also lay claim to all spores on their tile, regardless of player colour and split up networks. This is quite an important part of the game because networks allow you to fruit mushrooms from spores that are connected by adjacent tiles. As a result, if you play shrewdly, you can not only prevent other players from accessing their spores when fruiting, but you can spend them yourself. This spore mechanic has limited uses for each mushroom card you own. Once a card has reached its limit, it decays and is removed from that player mat, where the mushroom token is then replaced for later use. The decayed card will then provide a benefit, whether an instant action such as moving opponent tokens, a game upgrade of some sort, or an upgrade for the mushroom tokens specific to that mat. Therefore, any future mushroom cards placed here from later fruiting actions provide a bonus to that token when it goes into play. Throughout play, your hand of cards can be replenished from the market area. This action allows you to choose a face-up card or push your luck and take one from the draw deck, where you'll need to take spore count, decay ability, its fruit cost and victory point value into consideration, so choose wisely. Once a player has decayed a mushroom in each of the 5 player mats, the game ends. Victory points are earned from fruited and decayed mushroom cards, collected insect tokens, and the endgame token, which is claimed by being the player to initiate the end game. Therefore, you need to be aware of what other players can achieve and when it's beneficial to decay your last mushroom. Do this too early and you could miss out on in-game VPs, or delay to get the benefit of a decay ability and another player can steal the endgame token. The North American expansion is inspired by the symbiotic relationship between trees and fungi, introducing saplings and grandfather trees. As we'll see, this alters the spore action, where there are now a choice to spend the spores that ultimately leads to additional ways to earn victory points through grandfathers. The expansion also bumps up the player count to 5, providing all the components you need, but the new mechanics are not yet incorporated into the solo mode the base game provides. For the expansion, the tile setup remains the same, but you're required to add sapling tokens in a specific formation dictated by the roll of the wind die. The North America expansion comes with over 30 more mushroom cards that are shuffled into the main deck. Some of these have a wild spore as part of their cost, meaning you can spend a resource from any tile. Each player also places the bulky grandfather tokens in their play area. For gameplay, all the base mechanics remain the same in most circumstances, that is, except for the spore action. When you spore from a mushroom, instead of just placing your tokens onto the board tiles, you can instead choose to place one of them onto a sapling token if present on the tile. Once placed, this spore does not form any part of your network and cannot be used to fruit a mushroom later. It has now formed a symbiotic alliance with the trees. But not all is lost. Placing a spore onto a sapling may provide you with a bonus ability. You may be able to place a spore within your network, gain an insect token, or place an additional tile on the board. The likelihood of receiving a bonus is directly related to the number of spores on the sapling. The more there are, the more likely you'll gain the bonus. Also, any time a tile is placed during play for whatever reason, you'll get the chance to roll the wind dice and place a sapling if a specific symbol is rolled, so throughout play sapling tokens come and go. The expansion adds a new action, which is Age. This can only occur if your mother mushroom is located on a tile with a sapling holding 3 spores of any colour. Here the sapling token is removed and replaced with one of your grandfather tokens that are worth 5 victory points at the end of the game and also become part of your network. What's more, an opponent's mother doesn't block this network if it occupies the same space as your grandfather. Any spores on the same tile as the newly placed grandfather are pushed aside, and if the tile also contains a mushroom, they are immediately decayed, and this means they may provide a good opportunity to force the endgame if you're savvy. The game also comes with a new set of decay actions. These allow you to place spores on saplings for an immediate bonus roll, adding saplings to the board, re-rolling the die on a symbiosis roll, and even removing spores from saplings. So the expansion adds a 5th player that may appeal to some, and seeing as though there's little downtime, it should still keep players engaged. The new Age action makes use of saplings where you decide to form a symbiotic relationship with trees rather than disperse spores around the board. When your mother is present on a tile with a sapling containing 3 spores, it can transform into a grandfather. This can be done regardless of spore colours, so you could get someone else to do the hard work. There's a bit more dice rolling, with it deciding whether sapling tokens are placed on new tiles or if you get a bonus when placing spores on them. The grandfathers generate a large amount of victory points at the end of the game and can be present on the same tile as a mother mushroom. This differs from the base game because in this situation, the mother doesn't break a network. The grandfather seems to break the ruling from the base game. This means the move action becomes more significant. The expansion is due to hit Kickstarter sometime in August, and I hope this video provided a good overview of the base game and the expansion, and there'll be a link to the campaign in the description. Thanks for watching. I'm Mark from Ninja Geek Games, and you've been watching Gaming Rules.